Hey there, this is Colin with Kingdom Culture Counseling. There's a lot of new therapists, old therapists, small group leaders, pastors that are getting to spend time with people, and there are three big mistakes that I see in a lot of those relationships. So who is this video going to benefit? So this video is going to benefit any professional counselor, whether you are a mental health counselor, social work, marriage and family, maybe you're a pastor. This is going to be helpful for you. If you lead a Bible study, you have people in your home and you're trying to work through things with them, or a Sunday school, maybe you just have friends that have issues like me and like everybody that I know. We've all got friends and family members that are going through things, and a lot of times they want advice, right? And so they come to us looking for answers. So hopefully this video will be helpful for you. Number one, the biggest mistake that new therapists make is giving advice, right? So a lot of people get into this field because they have a lot of friends that come to them for advice, right? And they give good advice. So they feel like, whoa, gosh, I would love to do this for a living. And so they get into the mental health field and they begin giving advice. And they give more advice and more and more. The problem is this does not help a lot of people. It may help them in the short term, but in the long run, it is not beneficial to them. So here's why. I know that it feels good because there's someone relying on us. There's a sense of need when we give advice, right? Also, if I've got a private practice, right? And so if I can have people dependent on me, well, that means more money because they're going to keep seeing me. But that's not best for the client. And so I need to not do that, and you need to not do that. So here's what I mean. So someone comes in to see me. Let's say Bob comes in to see me for counseling. And I meet with Bob for the first session, and he is here. He's got all these issues, all these things going on. Maybe he just has small things going on, right? I realize, okay, Bob needs to get over here, right? How am I going to move Bob from here to here? Well, a lot of people, what they begin to do is say, okay, so Bob, you're in this relationship right now, and this is tearing you apart. So you need to break up with your girlfriend. You need to stop spending time with her. Stop going to the bars. That's where you're meeting these girls. That's your problem, right? You need to go to this place, and you can start meeting people that have healthier habits. Does that make sense, Bob? Okay, good. And they just talk and they talk and they talk. So instead, what we want to do is say, okay, Bob, what's going on? And you listen. And you listen and you listen. And the hope is that as you listen, Bob will start connecting the dots. But he hasn't figured that out yet. That's why he's coming to see a therapist. So Bob comes to see me, and so when I realize he needs to get here, what I'm going to do is throw little breadcrumbs. And a lot of times these are questions. Okay, so tell me about your relationship with your girlfriend, Linda. Okay, so you guys keep getting into fights. Why? What brings those fights on? And Bob begins to explore. So when you talk to Linda like that, how does she respond? Okay, so she always gets on edge and defensive. I wonder why. Okay, so you feel that way too when Linda talks to you like that. So why do you talk like that? Okay, so you're angry. Well, what's a different way you could deal with your anger? And again, I'm asking questions. I haven't told Bob anything yet, but you see how I'm leading him along the way to figure out some things. And instead of something like, Bob, you need to stop meeting girls at a bar, I might ask Bob, how's it been meeting girls at a bar? Okay, they typically have drinking problems. What do you think that is? And in my head, I'm like, come on, Bob, you haven't connected this yet? Come on, get it! I'm going to then ask him questions again and again to help him figure that out, to make that connection. Because if I make that connection for him, then next time he comes into an issue, he hasn't learned how to deal with his problems. He's learned how to deal with his one problem. And I know that feels good when people rely on you, but that is not best for the client. Number 2, the second mistake that I see a lot of times is people do not build rapport. So this is especially important in a professional counseling relationship. So that guy, Bob, that comes and sits down, I don't want him to sit down in the chair across from me and then ask him, so Bob, tell me what's going on. Tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. No, I want to build a relationship with Bob. What Bob will share with me and the way that he will open up depends on how much he can trust me. Bob cannot trust me yet. I understand that I have a professional title with my name and I have a private practice and there's a little bit of trust with that, but he doesn't know me. So I want to connect with him, right? And I want to bring his walls down. He's probably nervous coming to see a professional counselor. So I might ask Bob some questions. Let's say, Bob, what do you like to do for fun? Oh, cool. So you like golfing? Do you have a favorite golfer? When's the last time you golfed? Yeah, so I played golf on the high school golf team. Oh, yeah, cool. So I'm going to ask him questions. I want to connect with him, right? Even on surface level stuff. And that way Bob gets to feel like, hey, I'm on his team. We've got something in common. Right now, I want to be careful with this. Sometimes I see people try to do this and they get a little into themselves, right? Oh, Bob, you play golf? Okay, last week I shot a 67. So I birdied the last 2 holes and it was just beautiful. And I was captain of the golf team. So you see how I'm getting the focus on me? I want to keep the focus on them. And sometimes connecting with them, I might share something about me to bring that relationship a little deeper, but I never want the focus to be primarily on me. Everything I say has to benefit the client in that relationship, right? And if I get the focus on me, that doesn't always benefit the relationship. A lot of times it doesn't. So there's another way to build that connection, right? That's maybe in the beginning, that surface level stuff, but I also want to connect with them on an emotional level. So let's say Bob comes in and he's sharing that his mom just died, right? So I want to show him that I care. And I may say, Bob, I'm going to be real with you. I haven't lost my mom, and I don't know what that feels like, but that sounds horrible. Right? And I've had losses and it's been really hard for me. But I don't know what you're experiencing right now. So see that I'm trying to connect with them on a different level, and I'm showing them that I care. I'm showing them that I don't think I have all the answers. I'm a real person. So find ways to connect with your clients. If you're a pastor, the members of your church. Number 3, the big mistake that I see here is people are missing out on the here and now. This is one of the most effective ways to help people grow. A lot of times we are dealing with people and they come out of this context in their real life and they come into a session and they leave all of that here and they sit here and they talk about this stuff, right? And that can be helpful. There's some benefit to that. But there's also a reality that when this person comes in and sits across with me, they're bringing everything with them, right? So I can deal with that stuff here and now instead of just talking about yesterday or last week. So let me give you an example of that. Let's say Mary comes in for counseling and she says, Colin, I've got to be real with you. People are not hanging out with me. They stopped returning my calls. They seem to be avoiding me. I don't know what's going on. They are the issue. People are just messed up in this world. I'm through. I came in today. I had to sit in your office for 10 minutes before you would see me. Oh, this made me so mad. You were out of coffee. And I don't know what's going on. This is just a horrible day, right? And I might Okay, so I want to make sure that first I have that connection with Mary, but then I might try to explore what's going on now instead of, well, what did you do with those people? Why would they leave? I can't believe that, right? Instead, there's something going on right here, right now. So I might say something like, Mary, can I be real with you for a minute? Can I share with you what's going on with me? Is that okay? I'm going to ask permission. So Mary, I got to be real with you. I'm feeling a little bit on edge right now because you've come in here and you've just from the beginning began to complain about things. And even makes me feel on the defense. Like I feel like I want to get out of here a little bit. Now I'm not going to get out of here, right? I want to spend time with you and work through this. But this is cool because now I get to work through this with you in the present instead of you explaining what's going on and me just hearing your view of it. Right? So I wonder if in your other relationships you do this same thing. Well, what do you mean, this same thing? You begin to express like your frustrations, and sometimes it comes across pretty intensely. So I feel on edge like you're attacking me or blaming me for what's going on with you. Oh no, I that's not what I mean. I'm not trying to blame you. It's not your fault. Well, it feels like that a little bit, and I wonder if it comes across that way to other people as well. So when you hung out with Larry last week, right before he stopped returning your calls, was there some of this going on? So Mary stops and she thinks about it and she says, you know what? You're right. That whole time we hung out, I began to just complain about how things were hard and that I didn't get to see Larry for the past week. And that if he had just been around, maybe I would have felt comforted. I was trying to show him that I cared about him. And she starts to build that connection. So these are the 3 common mistakes I see with new therapists. And my hope is that this will be something that each of you can apply this week, whether it's in a small group, you're a pastor, in your counseling practice, and hopefully get some better results with this. So my hope is that you will subscribe. I'm going to be putting out a video each week, and go ahead and leave some comments, give me some feedback, maybe some things that you would like to explore with me. Thanks again, and my name is Colin with Kingdom Culture Counseling. Have a great week.